So, in the last class, we had discussed some of the basic things regarding the Indian polity section, and we were discussing the kinds of majority under the Constitution of India, and we had discussed the concept of simple majority. And simple majority, we had discussed, it is more than 50% of the members who are present as well as voting. Then we had discussed absolute majority. It is also known as majority of the whole house. So here we take into consideration more than 50% of the total strength of the house. And then we had discussed effective majority. And under the effective majority, we had discussed that the vacancies are not taken into consideration. It is more than 50% of the effective strength or the then strength of the house. Now, moving forward, coming to the fourth type of majority, it is special majority. There are three types of special majorities under the Constitution of India. First, not less than 2/3 of the members present and voting. When we say not less than, even 2/3 will also do. So, suppose in the Rajya Sabha, we have a strength of 245, and out of 245 members, present and voting are 230. So here the required majority will be 2/3 of 230. So here basically it is written not less than, so 2/3 will also do. If it is not less than 2/3 means 2/3 will also do. Earlier what we had discussed, more than 50%. That is why it was +1. It is not less than means 2/3 will also do. This majority is required at some places that I will be telling you after this discussion, and this majority basically is used specifically at two places that I will be discussing with you when we will be discussing the parliament. So this is the first type of special majority, not less than 2/3 of the members present as well as voting. Then coming to the second type of special majority, here two conditions have to be fulfilled. First, the majority of total membership strength of the house that is absolute majority and secondly not less than 2/3 of the members present and voting. It is not either or. Both the conditions have to be fulfilled. Now what is this both the conditions have to be fulfilled? It is and. Means it is plus this condition as well as this condition. For example, suppose let us consider a situation where this bill will be required in the Lok Sabha. This majority will be required in the Lok Sabha. Suppose in the Lok Sabha 450 members are present as well as voting. When a bill which requires this majority has been introduced, 450 members are present and voting. Now when we talk about Lok Sabha, both the conditions have to be fulfilled. The first condition is majority of the total membership or the strength of the house. It is fixed. In the Lok Sabha, it is 272. 272 is majority of the total membership or strength of the house. It is the absolute majority. This we had discussed in the last class also. That is more than 50% of the total strength of the house. Then, so this number has to be there. Along with it, you require another number that is not less than 2/3 of the members present and voting. So here we have got 450 members who are present as well as voting. What will be the 2/3 of 450? 300. 300. So suppose there is a situation where out of 450 members who are present and voting, suppose 298 members, they are voting in favor of the bill. Out of 450 who are present and voting, suppose 298 are voting in favor of the bill. If the bill will be passed or not? The bill will be passed or not? No. Because no doubt 298 is equivalent to or more than 272. So this condition is being fulfilled. But 298 is not the 2/3 of the members present and voting. If it is 300 or more than 300, then both the conditions are being fulfilled. It is a tough majority. Minimum requirement is 272. Minimum requirement. इसके अलावा what you would require, that is 2/3 of the members who are present as well as voting. Now coming to the flip side of it, another example I'll give you. Now let us take another situation where 400 members are present and voting in the Lok Sabha. What will be the 2/3 of 400? What will be the 2/3 of 400? 2/3 of 400. 200 and It will be around 267. You have to appear in the CSET examination also. Done. So 267. So when we say 267, so here 272 is the number required, and then 400 we can say, that is 2/3 of 400 is also required. Both the numbers have to be there. Now suppose if 270 members out of 400 they vote in favor of the bill, if the bill will be passed or not? No. Why? Because 272 is not there. 270 is no doubt, this condition is being fulfilled, but this condition is not being fulfilled. Both the conditions have to be fulfilled. So it means minimum, if this majority is required in the Lok Sabha, minimum 272 plus along with it 2/3 of the members who are present as well as voting. So this majority will be required in both the houses, Lok Sabha as well as the Rajya Sabha. But when it is required, it is a tougher majority. It is a tougher majority because they go 2/3 of the members present and voting can be an easier one. Minimum number, even if 100 members are present and voting, 2/3 of the members present and voting will be an easier one. But this one, majority of the total membership or strength of the house, it is a tougher one. Now where this majority is required? First, under Article 368, for the passage of a constitution amendment bill in both houses of the parliament, so in the Lok Sabha as well as in the Rajya Sabha, this majority will be required to amend any part of the constitution. This is the first one. Secondly, for the passage of resolution in both houses of the parliament for the removal of the judges of the Supreme Court and High Courts, the CAG, Chief Election Commissioner, and state election commissioners. So if these officers, constitutional officers, are to be removed, then both the houses will have to pass the resolution sitting separately by this special majority. Then only the president can remove the judges of the Supreme Court and High Courts, the CAG, Comptroller and Auditor General, the Chief Election Commissioner and the State Election Commissioners. And thirdly, for the passage of a resolution in a state legislative assembly, requesting the Parliament to create or abolish a legislative council for the state. As we had discussed in the last class also, we don't have legislative councils in all the states. Only in 6 of the states, as you had told me, that we have got legislative councils. Now suppose if a legislative council is to be created in a state, how that will be created? I'll just make a passing remark as I have written it. Suppose Odisha wants to have a legislative council. We don't have a legislative council in Odisha. So suppose Odisha wants to have a legislative council. So how a legislative council can be created in Odisha? The Odisha Legislative Assembly to pass a resolution by a special majority, the majority that we have written, requesting the Parliament to create a legislative council for Odisha. So the initiative will come from the concerned state legislative assembly, and in the state legislative assembly, the resolution requesting for the creation of a legislative council has to be passed by special majority, and then the final authority is the Parliament, and it has to be passed in the Parliament by a simple majority. Similarly, another example, suppose Rajasthan wants to have a legislative council. Then the Rajasthan Legislative Assembly will pass a resolution requesting the Parliament, and that request that will be passed by the Rajasthan Assembly by a special majority. The flip side of it, if you want to abolish a legislative council, suppose Karnataka wants to abolish legislative council, then the Karnataka Legislative Assembly will pass a resolution by a special majority requesting the Parliament. Done. So the final authority is that of the Parliament. It will finally decide. But who will take the initiative? legislative assembly will take. No doubt the teacher who will be discussing with you the states, he will also be discussing with you how a legislative assembly will be created, council can be created. But yes, as we had just written here, that is for the passage of a resolution in a state legislative assembly requesting the parliament to create or abolish a legislative council, I just made it a passing remark here, otherwise you may not be able to connect the things. That is how it is done. So this was the second type of special majority where both the conditions have to be fulfilled. So this majority will be required in both the houses of the parliament for amendment of the constitution, then for the removal of the judges of the Supreme Court, High Court, CAG, CEC and the state election commissioners. No doubt the state election commissioners, they are appointed by the respective governors, done, but they are to be removed by the president after the parliament will pass a resolution in this regard. And then in the state legislative assembly requesting the parliament to create or abolish a legislative council. This was the second type of special majority. Now coming to the third type of special majority. It is under Article 61. That is for the impeachment of it is not less than 2/3 of the total strength or membership of the House. In the Lok Sabha, it will be 2/3 of 543. In the Rajya Sabha, it will be 2/3 of 245. This is the toughest majority under the Constitution of India. Whether you are present, absent, it hardly matters. So 2/3 of the total strength in both the houses sitting separately. So after one house will pass the resolution by this majority, the resolution will be transmitted to the other house, and if the other house also passes the resolution by the special majority, that is 2/3 majority, then only the president can be impeached. So basically here, if you talk about the president's impeachment, generally what we have seen is that in loose terms, the term impeachment is used even for the judges of the Supreme Court, High Court, the CAG. I said in loose terms. In the Constitution, the expression impeachment has been mentioned only for the president. Done? And there is basic difference also. The first difference is that when we talk about impeachment, impeachment is a special legislative process. It is a special legislative, not a normal legislative process. It is a special legislative process. And when we talk about removal, removal is an executive order. Removal is an executive order. As and when both the houses of the parliament will pass the resolution by this majority, the president automatically stands impeached. No formal authority is required to remove the president. On the other hand, when we talk about the judges of the Supreme Court, the Constitution clearly says that a judge of the Supreme Court to be removed by the president upon the passage of resolution by both the houses of the parliament by a majority of total membership or strength of the house and by a majority of not less than 2/3 of the members present and voting on the grounds of proved misbehavior or incapacity. So after both the houses of the parliament will pass the resolution by this majority, then formal removal will be by the president. Done. And the grounds are also different. For the president, it is violation of the Constitution, whereas for the judges of the Supreme Court and High Court, it is proved misbehavior or incapacity. But now the question comes that, sir, why the expression impeachment is many a times used, even in loose terms, even by the Supreme Court also. Even in the UPSC question paper it was impeachment of the judges. Now here in social sciences we have got context which is also very important. Text and context. Here we will have to understand the context in which the expression has been used. Context. What is the context here? The role that the parliament plays in the removal of the judges. Until and unless both the houses of the parliament will not pass the resolution by this special majority, the president cannot remove a judge. Cannot remove a judge. So the power that the parliament enjoys in the passage of resolution, that is why the expression in loose term that is used, that is impeachment. But in the prelims examination, if statement is the word impeachment has been used in the Constitution only for the President of India. Done? But even if it is impeachment of the judges, it will not be a wrong expression. Why? Because the context is to be taken into consideration. So if someone will ask you that what is the difference between impeachment and removal, so then one can ask you that even though the word impeachment has been used only for the President of India, why the expression is used in loose terms, in talking terms, even for the judges of the Supreme Court and High Courts? Then you should say that, sir, it is the context which is taken into consideration. Because when we talk about the process of impeachment, no doubt it is a special legislative process, and as soon as both the houses of the parliament pass resolution, the president automatically gets impeached. But sir, on the other hand, when we talk about removal of the judges, technically speaking, the judges are removed by the president, but sir, only when each house of the parliament sitting separately will pass a resolution in that regard. So the power that the parliament enjoys, that is taken into consideration. So you need to be very much expressive here. You should not fumble. No, sir, even the Supreme Court has said, no, sir, it is there, it is written in that book. No. You need know where it is written. The word impeachment has been used in the Constitution only for the president. But the context is also important. That is why it is used in loose terms also. So these were the types of majority under the Constitution of India. It is the second type. The third type we had discussed, that is for the impeachment of the president. So with these basic things, we start our discussion on Indian polity section. Basically, it was a continuation of the last class only. We had discussed three of the majorities in the last class, and the fourth type of majority, that is special majority, we discussed in today's class.